think about the weight of water. You know how heavy it is to carry a gallon jug of water or a carboy full of water. So water weighs about 62 pounds per cubic foot. Concrete is heavier than water, weighs about 140 pounds per cubic foot. But a residential slab is only about 4 inches thick. So if you think about the force of water pushing against that concrete slab, the water can very easily buckle it. 3 feet of standing water, we've seen in many instances, is enough to collapse a foundation wall. Basement floors, basement walls are particularly susceptible. After flooding, we always get complaints that FEMA doesn't insure damages to the basement. Not entirely correct. FEMA insures some damages to the basement. They will insure damages to the foundation. They will insure damages to the utilities that service the home, the furnace, the water heater, even a freezer, air conditioning equipment, electrical components, those sorts of things. What they will not cover is somebody's finished basement. You have a finished floor, you have carpeting, you've got your man cave down there with your big screen TV, and none of that stuff is going to be insured if it's in the part of the structure that is below grade. And that's because that's where the water goes. So buoyancy forces. So a lot of people will say, well, I'm going to just build the most solid structure I can figure out how to build. No water is going to get in this structure, but the water is still exerting force on the structure. So with buoyancy forces, you're not talking necessarily about breaking the structure apart. You are talking about potentially turning the structure into a yacht. If you think that water can float an aircraft carrier, water can also float a house. And we've seen instances of this. One particular case, and I hate to use North Dakota as an example, but it provides a good one. In the Red River of the North, it's a very broad floodplain. They know months in advance when flooding is coming. The flooding flows north into Canada, and they know when the snowpack and when the ice jams to the north mean that the water is going to back up. So there was a major flood, I think it was in the late 90s, and there was a new subdivision in the floodplain. They had to evacuate. They knew the water was coming. They had plenty of time to evacuate, so they had to evacuate. And this new subdivision was built with very tight, watertight foundations. The community, I think this was Fargo, notified the people in the evacuation zone that before you leave your property, fill your basement with water. And people were thinking, what? And the purpose of this was to equalize the pressures on the building. So the people that did that filled their basement with water, not that they didn't have damages, but the structure survived. Many of the people who failed to do that, the house became a boat, and some of these houses just popped out of the ground. So think of what that buoyancy force can do. I didn't bring my laser pointer with me, but these are a couple of houses that have gone mobile. Cars particularly susceptible, and these are not cars parked by my daughters. And RV parks, we've seen a lot of damage in RV parks through the years. Hydrodynamic forces.